Making money in the sports card world is tough enough, but losing money, it's completely easy thing to do. And in this episode, I'm going to talk about 3 easy ways for you guys to lose money in the sports card world. Hi, welcome to the Sports Card Podcast. I'm your host, the Card Boss. And in this episode, we're going to dive into the 3 things that some of you may have experienced, to lose money in sports cards. Okay, and I'm going to share you some tips on how to avoid them. So let's get started. The first one is hidden fees or hidden costs, right? Or maybe not so hidden. Okay, now what do I mean by that? Because a lot of times when we buy sports cards, especially, right, we refer to comps that you can see on, we use softwares like Card Ladder, all market movers. Okay, so the comps are all there, but what the comps doesn't tell you are certain things that you may or may not be aware of, such as, for example, shipping costs. Okay, how about state taxes, custom duties? Those are all not factored into the comps. So sometimes when you're happily checking comps and looking at a price, let's say it's $1,000, and you figure out that's a good entry price for me to buy this card, and once you actually buy it, or once you actually commit to buy it, and that's where all these other extra cost comes in. All right, shipping maybe you have considered, depending on your geographical location. If you're buying a card that's from the US, maybe shipping USPS $5, $10, maybe FedEx $20. Okay, but if you're doing from international, it's a different story altogether. Okay, shipping costs can go up to $50, $75 at some point. Okay, what about taxes? State taxes, depending on where you are, there would be some sort of taxes like California, 10% tax on top of the price if you were to buy from eBay, for example, and customs duties taxes when you buy from international, when you're located internationally. Give an example from Malaysia. Okay, the customs duties can be up to 32% of the value of the card when you buy from eBay. So something that you want to pay $1,000 for, when you hit that buy now on eBay, that customs tax is another $320. Okay, and that's an express way for you to lose money. Now, of course, if you're buying things for PC, I wouldn't say you're losing money by paying these exorbitant amounts or excessive amounts, but of course, most of us, buy with some intention to resell in the future, and this certainly is going in the wrong direction. Okay, what about other kind of fees that we have not considered? If you're buying on platforms such as Goldin or maybe Alt, all right, now of course you're well aware of the buyer's premium. All right, that's everywhere, 20% or 22% for Goldin. But when it comes to shipping, right, there's an additional insurance that you need to pay, a 1% or a 0.5% depending on the platform. Sometimes you don't factor in this additional insurance. It's a must. You can't actually go around it, and that actually factors into the pricing as well. So maybe 1% may not seem big to you, but if 1% on $1,000, that's $10. 1% on $10,000, that's like $100. So it piles up. Okay, and what about credit card fees? What do you mean by that? What do you talk about credit card fees? If you were to buy cards on platforms such as Goldin or such as Finex Collect, using your credit card, okay, that's an extra 3% on top. Okay, so once you're stacking in the buyer's premium, once you're stacking in the shipping cost, the insurance, the credit cards, it just goes up and up and up. Okay, and that increases your cost base, and that's one way for you to lose money. All right, the second one, fake comps. Okay, this is a very popular one, right? What do I mean by fake comps? Now, if you guys use software tools such as Card Ladder or Market Movers, right, you're gonna see all the various comps, based on the last transacted price for a particular card they're interested in purchase. But aside from the card itself and the price, you got to pay attention to some of the details, such as, of course, when the card was last sold and who were the seller, in the case of Card Ladder. And that's very important, because if a card is being relisted again and again by the same seller, that's a telltale sign of something dodgy is going on with that particular sale. Now, whether or not you want to rely on that particular comp, that's entirely up to you, but normally I would categorize that as a fake comp and totally disregard that transaction completely. completely. Now, this is happening more and more frequently as China expands their reach into eBay, and they have more and more listings, especially big cards, popping up on eBay, but frequently, just ending, goes unpaid, goes relisted, and it just keeps on appearing on the comps listing. So buyer beware, look out for these, and make your own judgment whether or not you want to rely on some of these comps. I will call it fake comps. Finally, third thing, scams. Okay, now latest news on the Tom Brady. Of course, it's devastating. Right, it's a very dominant collector, and somebody dealing with a reputable seller for such a thing to happen. Now, I'm not hands on the ground on the actual case itself, but what I do know is scams are happening everywhere, especially transactions that's happening over the social media space, such as Facebook or Instagram. Of course, naturally, people are advising use safe methods of payment such as PayPal, goods and services. Maybe of course get into your credit card, whereby you would kind of like have get in touch with your banks in the case of any particular fraud to kind of block the transactions or get a chargeback, whatever it may be. But of course, before all that happens, before the money actually exchanges hands, you got to actually do the due diligence on the sellers itself. People are sharing lately on Facebook, some of the examples of these sellers, creating fake accounts on Facebook to try and deal. They have their own little modus operandi on how they actually try to get some money out of you, whether it's a PayPal email scam or whatever it is, right? So if it sounds fishy to you, back it off. As much as you like the card, or as much how good the deal is, it's easier to back off and to not deal with all the hassle later on. I personally have not been technically scammed on eBay and not eBay, on Facebook, but it's something that I want to avoid completely, by just ignoring, by not transacting. I perhaps may be losing out on some sweet deals, I think, on Facebook, but I would prefer to deal on marketplaces that I feel that's safer, where I'm guaranteed that I can at least, when my money goes there, I may confirm to get my card. So working on platforms such as or Finex Collect or Goldin, it's one of those whereby at least I know I'm guaranteed to receive my card. Okay, but of course, if you want to touch on eBay as well, there's a lot of things that's going on eBay as well. Bait and switch, packages, being sent with tracking, but it's empty inside. So all these things are the return scam on eBay that's becoming very prevalent as well. So these are the things that if you're running a business, all these things can actually eat into your margins and eat into your P&L, and that's pretty annoying. So one of the ways, if you're running a business, to try to just preserve your margins is to make sure that you don't lose money or leak money easily on all the things that I mentioned today, like scams and hidden costs, and also not to overpay based on the fake comps. Alright, so I hope you guys got something out of this one. It's a very 3 simple things that you guys need to look out for in order for you to not lose money in this business. Like I said, it's tough enough to make margins or to sell cars at a profit. You don't want to be doing silly things just to lose money. Alright, that's it for this one. Thanks for watching, guys. Till the next one, follow me on this podcast, like, subscribe. Cheers, Kabos out.